Good day, everyone. My name is Angela Nicole Cabandit, and my partner is Sir Michael Mark P. Bumagat, and we're reporting about the legal foundations of the curriculum. So, the Department of Education has taken again the highest budget this year, having received the lion's share. The department is expected to deliver a better system and services amidst the challenges brought by the pandemic. So eventually, the implementation of educational reforms amidst the crisis still have to be expressed in terms of law, rules, and various directives. So bakit ba natin kailangan aralin ang legal basis of the curriculum? Kasi we need to know the legal basis of education for us to know and practice our rights. So every student, teacher, parent, and the administration have the right to express their opinions and suggestions freely. So, when we truly understand our rights, it is then that we are able to do our duties and function well as members of the society. So, this is also because it serves as our basic guidelines for the establishment and maintenance of an education to promote desirable values that strengthens our national unity. For this report, the objectives are: Number one, the students are expected to discuss the implications of some laws, rules, or directives to our educational system. Second, explain the importance of the legal basis in curriculum development. And lastly, reflect on how laws, rules, or directives released during the pandemic defined our current curricular practices. So these are the three major legal bases. But for this report, we will be focusing on the 1987 Constitution, Article 14, Sections 1 to 5. So Section 1, the state shall protect and promote the right of all citizens to quality education at all levels and shall take appropriate steps to make such education accessible to all. So this says that, And so this says that education is free and for all people. The main goals of the states are: number one, the state shall promote and protect, number one, the right to quality education at all levels. Number two, the right to affordable and accessible education. And number three, education that is relevant to the needs of people and society. So when we say quality education, it is the appropriateness, relevance, and excellence of the education given to meet the needs and aspirations of an individual and society. So for section 2, please pause the video and read the slides. Okay, so for section 2, here is an example. It is the alternative learning system. So it is a parallel learning system to provide a viable alternative to the existing formal education instruction. So it compasses both the normal and informal sources of knowledge and skills. So this is for section number 2, number 5. So there is also called the ALS non-formal education. So this form of learning system is usually community-based and not in a formal classroom format. These are managed by ALS facilitators such as mobile teachers. And for Article 2, Section 5 also is the TESDA, an example of Article 2, Section 5. So the vision of TESDA is the transformational leader in the technical education and skills development of the Filipino workforce. So this encourages lifelong learning among Filipinos. Section 3. Okay, I'll give you again time to pause the video and go through the slides. And so the section 3 focuses on desired educational values. So this is what education should or may contain. It is section 3 is actually under the discrepancy of the school kasi they are practicing academic freedom. So it is not actually mandated, but these three are the desired educational values. So it may vary from school to school. So first one is the moral character. It is the reference to the external manner of behaving. So number two is the ethical and spiritual values, and the last one is the desire for critical thinking. Next is section 4. Again, I'll give you time to pause and read the video and read the slides. And so section 4 says that focuses on the ownership of education. Ang general rule is the educational institution should be for and owned by mostly Filipino citizens. The next one is for student population. It says here that schools cannot establish school exclusively for aliens or foreigners. Aliens can only comprise of 1/3 of total enrollments. For section 5, I'll give you again time to pause and read the slides. Okay, so you can see from the sides that highlighted are right of education and right of teachers. So the right of education must be read in conjunction with academic freedom of schools to require fair, reasonable, and equitable admission requirements. So the next one is the Batas Pambansa Bilang 232, or the Education Act of 1982. Again, I will give you time to pause and read through the slides. So this focuses on the national development goals. Rights of students in school. So previously we discussed the rights of school and education and teachers. Now we're discussing rights of students. So this is the right to receive competent instruction, relevant quality education. I will end my part here and I'll let Mr. Bumagat take the floor, virtual floor.
These are the other legal bases of the foundations of curriculum. First on the list is the Act number 74. Basically, this act was the division of archipelago into schools, divisions, and districts for effective management. Also, English was made as medium of instruction in all levels of schooling with this act. And number 2 is the Commonwealth Act number 80. This law created the Office of Adult Education on October 26, 1936, so as to eliminate illiteracy and to give vocational and citizenship training to adult citizens of the country. Number 3 is the Commonwealth Act number 578. Conferred the status of persons in authority upon the teachers, professors, and persons charged with the supervision of public or duly recognized private schools, colleges, and universities. 4. Commonwealth Act number 586. This is known as the Education Act of 1940. The law provided for the following: reduction of 7-year elementary course to 6-year elementary course, fixing the school entrance age to 7, introduction to double single session, one class in the morning and another in the afternoon under the one teacher to accommodate more children. Number 5 is the Commonwealth Act number 589. Established a school ritual in all public and private elementary and secondary schools in the Philippines. The ritual consists of the solemn and patriotic ceremonies that include the singing of the national anthem and patriotic pledges. Number 6 is the Republic Act number 139. This law provided that all public schools must only use books that are approved by the board for a period of 6 years from the date of their adoption. Number 7 is the Republic Act number 896, known as the Elementary Education Act of 1953. It repealed Commonwealth Act 586 and provided for the following: restoration of grade 7, but it was never implemented due to lack of funds. Class under 1 teacher in the primary and 3 teachers to the 2 classes, or 5 teachers to 3 classes in the intermediate level. Compulsory enrollment of children in the public schools upon attaining 7 years of age. Number 8 is the Republic Act number 1425. It prescribed the inclusion in the curricula of all schools, both public and private, from elementary schools to universities, the life, the works, and the writings of Jose Rizal, especially the Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo. Number 9 is the Republic Act number 6655, known as the Free Public Secondary Education Act of 1988. It was provided for a free public secondary education to all qualified citizens and promote quality education at all levels. Nationalization of all public secondary schools, and a student who fails in majority of his academic subjects for 2 consecutive years could no longer avail of their program. Number 10 is the Republic Act number 10533, or the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013. This act stated that the curriculum shall be learner-centered, inclusive, developmentally relevant, and appropriate. It also states that learner-centered is an approach to education that puts the needs and interest of the students at the center of the teaching-learning process. It also states that the curriculum shall be culture sensitive, which means that instruction must respect the cultural identities of the learner. It also states that curriculum shall be contextualized and global relevant. Appropriate and responsive curriculum will only become a reality if it puts a premium on the personal, biogeographical, and sociocultural setting of the learners, taking into account the demands of the national and global community. And here are some features of the K-12 curriculum. It features that the learner is at the center of the teaching-learning process. Thus, the curriculum uses pedagogical approaches that are constructivist, inquiry-based, reflective, collaborative, differentiated, appropriate, relevant, and integrative. It also features that the curriculum is articulated in terms of standards and competencies and is seamless, research-based, and decongested. It uses the spiral progression approach to ensure the mastery of knowledge and skills after each level. It is now the summary. The first, Philippine Constitution of 1899, otherwise known as the Malolos Constitution, even clearly stated in Article 23 that public education shall be free and obligatory in all schools of the nation. The 1935 Constitution, on the other hand, specifically under Article 14, Section 5, stated that the government shall provide at least free primary instruction and citizenship training to adult citizens. The provision for free public elementary education was retained under 1943 Constitution adopted by the provisional government during the Japanese occupation. This was carried over the year 1973 Constitution under the regime of Ferdinand Marcos. In the current Constitution, which took effect during the term of Corazon Aquino, several significant provisions on education were embodied. Aside from the public elementary education, public high school and secondary education were also made free. Moreover, it was categorically stated in Section 5 under Article 14 that the state shall assign the highest budgetary priority to education and ensure that the teaching will attract and retain its rightful share of the best available talents through adequate remuneration and other means of job satisfaction and fulfillment. The codification and incorporation of the importance of education to the Constitution and laws of the Philippines took place only after its independence from Spain. This is our topic about the foundations of curriculum. We talked about the major legal bases and other legal bases from our constitutions that are implied, and some are demolished and abolished, And I hope you have learned something, and thank you for listening. Have a good day.